Hello, everyone. Today we will talk about the principles of driving. Let's start with the principles of car manufacturing. Next, let's first watch this video. With the advancement of technology, the performance of cars is getting better and better. Hello, everyone. I am Jung Wei-Win. I'm very pleased to discuss how to use brakes safely with you. After exploring this, you will know that the key to safety does not lie in the acceleration of the engine. Instead, it's about when and how you stop the vehicle at the right place. Hello, everyone. I am Carl. First, let's welcome our assistant host, Emma Carl. Carl is me, and I am Carl. All right, Emma. Kat, do you want to tell everyone what the best brake is? Braking is simple. Look. Just stick out your foot and press down hard like this. Look, am I awesome or what? Just because you can brake suddenly doesn't mean you know how to use the brakes. Want to understand what real braking is? Let's get started. Wrong. Mr. Car, let me test you. Just now we passed that section of road. How many types of braking techniques were used in total? 2 types. Definitely 2 types. There are 3 types. 3 types. Obviously, there are only foot brakes and hand brakes. Where's the 3rd type? Besides foot brakes and hand brakes, there's another method of braking. That is engine braking. Isn't that downshifting? How could that be braking? Engine braking uses the friction and compression resistance of the engine to control speed. Engine braking is not the actual braking system that stops the car. It is used for deceleration. It is also known as the 3rd brake. During normal driving, as long as we release the accelerator, engine braking will create a deceleration effect, but a larger engine is needed. When braking, you must lower the gear shift position. Wow, how amazing! Why can the engine achieve this effect? When the driver's foot is not on the accelerator, the engine loses its ability to drive the car, but due to inertia, the car will continue to move forward. At this time, the power from the wheels is transmitted back to the engine through the drivetrain. The power of the wheels is affected by the internal compression resistance of the engine, which influences the speed. This gradually slows down speed. This is how the engine is used as a brake, providing a braking effect. If you go downhill for a longer distance, and the slope is steep if downshifting still feels too fast, what should you do? If it still feels too fast, just use the regular brakes to enhance deceleration. The regular brake is the foot brake. Speaking of foot brakes, it is a hydraulic brake. I ask you, little Jung, do you know what a hydraulic brake is? Of course I do. Generally, a foot brake system in small cars is a hydraulic brake system. When the fluid is compressed by external force, it doesn't decrease in volume due to compression. The hydraulic brake uses this incompressible principle to transmit pressure as the braking force. When the driver presses the brake pedal, it compresses the piston in the master cylinder, pressurizing the fluid in the brake system. At this point, the pressure in the system simultaneously transmits to the brake lines of all 4 wheels, causing the braking devices on the vehicle to engage. This achieves the braking effect. Additionally, to help the driver ease the foot effort, The hydraulic brake system is also equipped with a vacuum brake booster. This is located between the brake pedal and master cylinder. It operates using the negative pressure generated by the engine's vacuum to power the diaphragm inside. When the driver presses the brake pedal, the control valve will simultaneously activate. The negative pressure stored in the vacuum chamber assists the driver in operating the brakes. Therefore, as long as the driver lightly presses the brake, the system can generate several times the hydraulic pressure, achieving effective braking. It's worth noting that once the engine is off, the vacuum booster loses its effectiveness, leaving only the basic hydraulic braking function. Thus, to achieve the same braking force, you must press the brake pedal harder. Don't mistakenly think this means the brakes have failed. I didn't expect you to know quite a bit. Let me quiz you. The foot brake is a hydraulic brake. What about the hand brake? If you thought it would be easy to stump me, you were mistaken. The hand brake uses mechanical force based on the lever principle. Just pull the handbrake lever back, and the lever engages, locking the wheels firmly. So the handbrake can be called a handbrake or a parking brake. However, some cars have handbrakes, designed to be operated with the foot for easier use. NI. However, the principles and effects of both are actually the same. Parking on a slope. Everyone should pull up the handbrake. This can prevent the car from sliding down the hill. Taking a manual transmission car as an example. When a car is parked on a slope, if the front of the car is facing downhill, the gear should be in the first gear. If the front of the car is facing uphill, the gear should be shifted to the D gear. As for automatic cars, it's recommended to shift to P gear. Not just on slopes. When planning to park the car normally, even when stationary, remember to securely pull the handbrake. The steps for parking safely are as follows. After the car stops, shift to N gear. Next, pull the handbrake. Release the clutch and finally let go of the brake. Brake and turn off the engine. Only then can you ensure that the automatic transmission won't be damaged. After watching the introduction to braking principles, do you feel like you've cleared your meridians? Yes, I do, but it was a bit tiring. Little G, let's go for a drive. Let's relax in the hot springs for a bit. What do you think? Sure, let's head out now. To maintain optimal braking performance while driving, brake fluid is the key. Before driving, check if the brake fluid reaches the standard level. If it's insufficient, top it up. And avoid exceeding the maximum level. As for the type of brake fluid, it's best to use the same grade, same specifications, or add according to the manufacturer's manual instructions. If there is a sudden significant decrease, you need to check for a leak. Check the ground for oil leak traces, or check if the inner side of the tires has oil accumulation. If there is, absolutely do not. Driving should be sent for repairs as soon as possible. After checking the brake fluid, next is to check the tire pressure. Tires that are too low or too high can affect braking function. Do you want to know what your correct tire pressure should be? Check your vehicle's manual. Another thing before driving, if the brake warning light is on, it could mean that the handbrake hasn't been released. If you're sure the handbrake is released and the warning light is still on, then it indicates an issue with the vehicle's braking system. It must be checked immediately. Be cautious when driving on winding roads. If the speed is too high, emergency braking can easily lead to a loss of control. So before entering a bend, make sure to slow down sufficiently. This is to prevent danger. When driving on wet or slippery surfaces, tire friction is lower. With less grip, if the speed is too fast, it's easy to cause the car wheels to skid. If the vehicle passes through deeper water areas or gets submerged in water, braking performance will decrease. It is recommended to slow down and drive cautiously and increase your following distance for safety's sake. Now we're on a downhill stretch. The speed seems to be gradually increasing. Push the brake to slow down, not enough. If not enough, press again. Dear viewers, this is incorrect. When driving down a long slope, continuously pressing the brakes can easily overheat the brake drum inside the braking system, leading to vaporization of the brake fluid, causing airlock reactions in the hydraulic line. Gaseous pressure after vaporization will compress, reducing hydraulic pressure functionalities. In severe cases, it may completely disappear. At this point, braking function will be reduced or fail. The correct braking method while driving down a long slope should use engine braking for control. If it's a manual transmission, downshift sequentially. And for automatic transmission, downshift to second or lower. At the same time, use the foot brake. Both techniques together is a safe way to drive on a long downhill stretch. This method is not only safe, but won't damage the brake components. Two birds with one stone, it's the best way. When driving down a long slope, there's one more important thing to remind our viewers. That is, never turn off the engine or shift to neutral to save fuel. Doing so will render engine braking ineffective. There's one more important thing I need to remind all viewers. That is, you should never turn off the engine or put it in neutral to save gas. Doing so will cause the brake system to lose its effectiveness, affects the braking effectiveness of the car. Passing through a curved road section, special road surface downhill. Now it's a normal section. There shouldn't be any more issues, right? Wow. Luckily, I managed to stop in time. Driving so fast, and the vehicle ahead suddenly slowed down, slamming on the brakes like that is very dangerous. As long as I can stop, what's wrong with slamming on the brakes? Slamming on the brakes applies strong braking force, although it shortens the stopping distance. It causes a significant impact on the driver. Except in special circumstances, you should try to gradually press the brakes. When driving, usually press the brakes a couple of times first, to signal that the vehicle ahead is about to slow down, then gently apply the brakes. Although this results in a longer stopping distance, it is safer. Moreover, it can also extend the lifespan of the car. Slamming on the brakes is to stop quickly. Seatbelts can reduce impact force. Why worry so much? Not quite, even if you can stop. It doesn't mean the vehicle behind you can stop as well. In severe cases, it may lead to a chain collision. Moreover, if a large vehicle is behind, in the sudden event of slamming on the brakes, it can easily cause the larger vehicle behind to not stop in time, leading to a rear-end collision. Additionally, slamming on the brakes has another disadvantage. It can cause the tires to lock up instantly in emergencies, increasing the chance of wheel skidding. It is suggested that all drivers avoid slamming on the brakes, control speed and maintain appropriate stopping distance when braking. I've only heard of braking distance, not stopping distance when braking. Considering road surface, vehicle condition, and the driver's driving situation are all normal premises. From the moment the driver takes their foot off the accelerator, pressing the brake pedal, to the distance until the car comes to a complete stop, is called the stopping distance. Stopping distance equals the total distance, plus the braking distance. The widely known braking distance refers to the distance traveled from the moment the driver presses the brake pedal until the actual stop, is called braking distance. The time required for operation and effect remains unchanged, but the moving distance will change with increased speed. For example, when the car's speed increases from 20 km to 40 km, speed doubles. But the stopping distance will increase fourfold. As for empty time distance, refers to the driver's foot relaxing, the accelerator consistently with the brake, pressing down on the brake pedal. Before the brakes take effect, the distance traveled during this time is called the empty time distance, the faster the speed, relatively. The longer the empty time distance. I get it. So braking isn't just about braking distance. We also need to consider empty time distance. So how much stopping distance do I actually need? Can I stop the car in a very short time? Speed is the main influencing factor. To achieve a safe stopping distance, you must first avoid speeding. Second, follow speed limit rules. Third, maintain an appropriate following distance. The calculation method for appropriate following distance is speed divided by 2. For example, if the car is traveling at 80 mph divided by 2, then the appropriate following distance is 40 meters. Drivers often press the brakes hard. Actually, it doesn't need to be that complicated. Just so you know, I'm equipped with ABS. It has strong braking performance, not to mention that many drivers' cars have ABS. And there's a myth that ABS reduces braking distance. That's a misconception. In an emergency stop, cars without ABS. But it's counterproductive, leading to wheel lockup. Skidding. The main purpose of this device is not to shorten emergency stopping distances. ABS is a device that controls wheel braking via a computer, but to prevent tire lockup and to maintain vehicle direction control. That's its true purpose. At this time, don't be scared and let go. Therefore, even on slippery roads, ABS can prevent wheel skidding. It's worth noting that when using ABS, pressing the brake pedal all the way down may cause a bouncing sensation. You must continue to press hard for it to be effective. We're here. Let's go. We're off to the hot springs. The ABS braking system does not mean the braking force is stronger. It's also not meant to shorten braking distances. Next time, never say, your ABS is strong and powerful. It's much wiser to maintain a safe distance. Going to the hot springs is a joyful thing. Why did you start crying instead? We can't go in the water now. If we don't go in, it'll be a flooded car. Right. How did I forget about this? Since you can't go to the hot springs. Since you can't soak in hot springs, then I'll go soak myself. Wow. It's just too comfortable. It's a pity Mr. Carl can't join us for a hot spring. However, on this journey, the safe braking techniques he learned can also be considered a fruitful return. This trip was not in vain. After watching this video, it discusses something called the correct parking steps. So what are the correct parking steps? After parking, switch to neutral. Next, engage the handbrake. He also emphasized particularly, pull the handbrake hard, and while in P gear, release the foot brake. That after turning off the engine, he added a phrase. This way, the gearbox won't be damaged. Why do it this way? So it won't get damaged. He discussed it in terms of the first line of defense and the second line of defense. In other words, when you pull the handbrake, stop the vehicle. The first major defense is the handbrake. In IP gear, it serves as a second line of defense. The handbrake usually locks the rear two wheels. P gear locks the gearbox. In case you test it, if stopped on the roadside and pushed, the first line of defense is the handbrake. It won't affect your gearbox. If you first shift to P gear, it's the first line of defense, then you pull the handbrake. When the car is pushed, the gearbox will be the first to brake, because it's the first line of defense. He explained this concept to the learners. You must pull the handbrake firmly first. Brake! Then shift to P gear. This way, the transmission won't get damaged. Next, he talked about how to achieve safe braking. The first thing regarding stopping distance is don't speed. The second thing is to follow speed limit regulations. Maintain a proper and safe distance. These are the three things to achieve while driving. Why brake? It's to avoid crashing into other vehicles going too fast. Speeding means you just accelerated. Too much acceleration causes too much speed. Therefore, when we drive, it's not about accelerating and braking repeatedly. Because if you accelerate, braking will increase your fuel consumption. The second consequence will increase brake wear. The third consequence is danger, because if a vehicle behind you is careless, it might catch up with you. So how do we need to maneuver while accelerating and braking? This is also a topic we need to discuss. Earlier, the video mentioned that there are 3 types of brakes. The first is the foot brake. The foot brake locks all 4 wheels. The second is the handbrake. The handbrake locks the rear wheels. The third type of brake is the engine brake. It slows the speed using the engine. It's also a form of braking. It tells us inside that when going downhill, you should use the engine brake. Don't keep pressing the brake, because pressing the brake will increase the temperature. When the temperature rises, vaporization occurs, which can lead to brake failure. Before braking, you should lightly tap the brakes twice. Why tap lightly twice? The purpose is to make the brake lights turn on, so the vehicle behind you takes notice. When the brake lights turn on, they'll let off the gas, increasing the distance. However, our light taps don't actually cause braking action. This action is very important. Here, we discuss the 3 steps of the driving environment. See and think. Then perform these 3 consecutive actions. What's needed is time. This is also called environmental time. The duration of environmental time varies with age, gender, physical ability, and emotions. If you encounter physical decline, distraction, or driving fatigue, long waits behind the wheel may require even longer environmental time. Next, let's look at this diagram. When we encounter danger, the first thing is to release the gas. Next, lightly tap the brakes. Gradually press the brakes to reduce speed until the vehicle stops. He also discusses the critical environment. Time creates environmental distance. The faster the speed, the longer the distance. If the speed increases, the damage from a collision will be more severe. The higher the speed, the longer the stopping time is proportional as well. The automatic braking distance will also be longer. The safe stopping distance discussed here refers to the braking distance, equal to the reaction distance plus the automatic distance. The faster the driving speed, the longer the stopping distance will be. He also talked about factors affecting braking distance down here. There's vehicle speed. In everyone's nostalgic time. The coach also wants to remind everyone, and the weather. Rainy days are different from sunny days, because climate factors are also related. The video just now also mentioned something called vacuum-assisted braking. Vacuum power brake works when the engine is running. It creates a vacuum effect. It uses the vacuum part to perform a similar motion, which is to add force on the brake pedal. So, the video just mentioned not to turn off the engine. If the engine is turned off, then there is no vacuum assist. And with vacuum assist, it means when we press the brakes, it will feel lighter. Because of the vacuum effect, the vacuum has a suction power. So pressing the brakes feels lighter. But if the engine is turned off, it loses the vacuum benefit. Pressing the brakes will require more force. This is also mentioned in the video just now. Next, let's look at this image. The image above links the vehicle. After it applies the brakes hard, both tires. Friction increases, generating high temperatures which burn the tires. The image below. On both sides, the right side locked up. So the right side burned the tires. Did you see that long burning mark below? Therefore, we can see here. The braking force on both sides will be different. The vehicle above is more balanced, so both sides burned out evenly. Both sides are smoking. And the vehicle below, the right side is locked up, the left side is not locked up. So there are brake marks on the right side. The left side has none, causing the whole vehicle to lean right. From this, we know the braking force will be different. This applies to sedans as well. As for why they braked suddenly, why did this linking vehicle brake suddenly? Why did this large truck brake suddenly? This video was captured by family on the highway. Take a good look. This serves as a reference for you in the future on the highway. Driving principles and methods. Now here, there is a habit, an action that must be formed. Buckling your seatbelt upon getting into the driver's seat. Turn on the headlights and the car can be locked. When exiting the car, remember to pull the handbrake hard. Brake, shift to P gear. Turn off the headlights because you just turned them on. And remember to turn off the headlights before getting out. Put the keys in your pocket. Generally speaking, our vehicle will have 2 keys. When going out, take both keys. If separating 2 people, bring it money, 1 key got lost. At least there's still 1 key. The 2-step method of getting in and out of the car isn't just for passing the test. You must do this action whenever you open the car door in the future. Sorry then. If you are giving someone a ride, you should also pay attention. Look back for oncoming traffic. Don't let them just open the door. This is a reminder for everyone. Many accidents happen because the door was opened carelessly. When cars come from behind, lightly it may not be a big deal. Heavily, then it becomes very serious, so it's a reminder for everyone. Always be aware of approaching traffic from behind. Direction is about understanding and operation. Everyone, if you still remember, the first thing to learn in the driving school is to hold the steering wheel, then how to hold the steering wheel. There was once a student in the first class who asked the instructor, at the intersection ahead, how many degrees should I turn? I said our steering wheel has no markings. There is no way to tell you how many degrees to turn, because the sizes of intersections vary. The speed at which you turn the steering wheel, and the timing of the turn, and the vehicle speed will all be different. So it's not about the degree of movement, it's about developing a habit. But you must remember clearly, you should grip the steering wheel lightly, making it easier to turn. Because beginners coming to the driving school, they will be scared, so when turning the steering wheel, they are very stiff. This way, we need to practice. Practice slowly, just like Tai Chi. Practice slowly. So no need to worry too much. Next, let's understand the steering wheel adjustments and usage methods. This video was shot by the instructor. The instructor filmed the rearview mirror and filmed the tires, using 5 cameras to capture this. Now let's listen and see what it explains inside. All right, students, hello everyone. Let's introduce steering left. And turning right, how do we turn? Generally speaking, we hold the steering wheel at the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock positions. When turning, push this hand up. Pull down, push up, pull down. Just like that. It's been explained. Now return to the center. Likewise, push up, pull down, push up just like this. Right turn is the same. Let's check we're turning right. Push up, pull down. Push up, pull down. That's how we make that turn. Good. Now return to center. All right, return to center. As for how many turns, let's see how many turns it takes to turn completely left and how many turns to turn completely right. First, let's turn right. Okay, that's half a turn. All right, that's 1 full turn. Do you see? That's 1 full turn. Right? Still going in circles, right? Still turning half a turn. That equals 1.5 turns. When you turn left and right, it's roughly 1.5 turns. So return to center. Likewise, return to center, 1.5 turns. Do you see? Let's turn left again. Turning left is the same. Let's check how many turns it takes. We'll start turning from here. That's 1 full turn. Half a turn doesn't count. That's all you need to do. Turn all the way, but need to return a little. Remember clearly. Oh, good. Let's return to center. Okay, return. So turning left and right. Each takes 1.5 turns. If it doesn't exceed, generally, our normal driving doesn't require that much. For example, when we need to turn, adjusting or changing lanes is just a slight adjustment, just like that. Don't let go of your hands. See? Don't let go of your hands. Don't let go, just like that. Didn't backtrack. If you think this angle isn't enough, turn again. See? Turn again. All right, returning to center is the same. All right, return to center. Just like that. Not exceeding half a turn, just turn like that. Normal road corrections, return to center. Correction to center. Correct to center, no need for crossing hands. Beginners usually turn like this. It's not that you can't turn like this. You can, but the environment doesn't allow for such fast movements. For example, if you want to turn left, right? This way is quicker, isn't it? You just use the connected method, which can't be so fast. This is fast, do you see? Same, right? When going slow, you can turn this way at high speed. You can't turn like this at high speed. No way you could turn like this at high speed. If you turn like that, you would flip the car. All right, let's return to center. All right, let's do the U-turn motion. Similarly, when turning, hands cross. See, look, here comes the turn. All right, returning to center is also the same. All right, return to center. Now let's practice. How to turn. For example, we are on the road. On the main road, we're turning here. For example, this is a big intersection. In a moment, we'll need to turn right first. All right, let's turn on the right turn signal. Pay attention when they make a turn. Don't slow down, okay? This long, just keep your hands steady. Don't let go of your hands. Just straighten it out. You see? Just turn and straighten it out. Likewise, let's turn left, steering as usual. Good turn signal on. How's that for turning over? Slowly pull it back, now back. This is how it's done. It's not easy, huh? That straight line is just a simple adjustment. Just a bit of fine-tuning, see? Don't let go of your hands. All right, let's turn left again, okay? Same here, switch signals without moving. Love the car more, did it turn? Don't let go of your hands, it's turned now. All right, moving forward, no problem. If you want to move right, just steer right. If you're going out right. If you turn left again, it's the same. Turn left, then reverse. What do you do? Let's practice reversing. Let's stop in the middle. We'll back up to the car together. You have to stop completely to get to the car. All right, which way do we go? We turn the steering wheel that way. For instance, if we want to go left, the steering wheel should face left. See? Just lean over. But if you oversteer, it will lean immediately. No thinking needed. It's all about touching the line. What to do? You need to straighten up. This way, it goes in at a slant. It will press against it, so pull to the right. Just adjust it back. Perfect, just adjusted to the left. Now let's adjust a bit more to the left. Just fine-tune over. So for the straight part, you don't need to turn that much. See the left straighten out. Now turn right, move closer to the right. There you go, just like that. Now we do the same to the right. Adjust to the right side. It has moved over. While looking over, be ready to straighten out. The return path is a bit slanted. It will continue to move right. When it feels the distance is enough, pull it to the left. Just lean to the left, all right? Now let's adjust a bit to the right. Just the same, adjust over. Adjust over, did you adjust? It's gone, now pull it back. Did you see? Just fix it and pull it back. Just keep adjusting to the right. Where do you want to adjust? Don't adjust too much on the straight part. You're not turning, so don't make too many corrections. Return to straight, this is something you need to practice. It's good to look through the rearview mirror. Earlier, the video talked about the end. You need to learn to look at the following generations. Everyone, driving will be the same in the future. When you're turning left or right. When turning left, you need to pay attention. Is there a car in the left rearview mirror? Is anyone turning? The same goes for the right side. Besides driving in war, you still need to check for cars and people. Next, the steering wheel. When the car is moving, you need to know if it's drifting to the right or drifting to the left. Instead of just sticking your body out, it's wrong to look at the direction of the tires. Whether going forward or backward, you need to have this sense of direction. Once during on-road driving lessons, because the moment we enter driving, we let the students take full control of the steering wheel. And when the car drifts, I told him, our car has drifted. He surprisingly said, I didn't even move the steering wheel. No, if the steering wheel hasn't moved, it won't drift. Because the ground isn't aligned, it will tilt with the slightest shake. So this sense of direction, you must practice in driving school. When the car drifts, you need to feel it. This is something I need to remind everyone. Earlier, the video had a turn, right? That turn didn't even make it halfway. And it just went around, because the intersections vary in size. Next, let's see this instructor demonstrate steering operation. Let me explain to you. There are two ways to steer. One is called push and pull. Like this, push, pull. This is called steering. This way, push, pull. This is also called steering. Got it? There's another method. What method is it? I place my hand at the halfway point on the steering wheel. The 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock positions, he makes a left avoidance, right avoidance, but he's limited to a maximum angle of 180 degrees. Understand this method? This is also called steering. Do you understand? This is called push and pull style. The second type is called cross style. The so-called cross style is at the top of the steering wheel. He makes a cross motion. So it's as the name suggests. It's called... For example, pay attention to my hands. When I'm turning the steering wheel to the right now, it's mainly with the left hand. The right hand is maneuvering. What do we do at this time? For example, when I push the steering wheel up, this hand will leave. It needs to make a connection. After connecting, when this hand comes down, it pulls. It goes back to the same position. Do you understand? He will make a cross motion at this upper position. Conversely, for left turns, it's the right hand. When pushing it over, when you push it over, this hand will make a pulling motion. Do you understand? This is something to teach. Now I'll do it once for you to see. This is called cross style. Professor, you can tell just with a glance. When you see this method, it means you will use a lot of the steering wheel. It should be for medium to small turns. Do you understand? When you see the first type of push and pull, Its movement is very small. What's the reason for that? That must be for large turns. Do you get my point? The angle of the steering wheel movement is not large. So why is that? Because at high speeds, you can help move the angle. Is it a large movement? Yes. Then it will lose control. Do you get me? Just like when you're going fast, you find it moves a little. The evasive action will be very drastic. Just like when you've played the go-kart. The steering is 1-1-1. When you move the steering wheel a little, the tires just turn a bit. When you move your foot very heavily, it will spin. So at high speeds, just slight adjustments can correct it. So the transport chamber is suitable for large curves. When driving at high speed or in sudden situations, there's a hard shift. For example, when something suddenly drops in front of the car. If you crash like this, you'll definitely lose control. If you dodge and then pull back, you'll be straightened out. This can help avoid vehicle loss of control. Moreover, it has better stability. Got it? That the crossway is suitable for medium bends. Got it? Third, internal suspension. What is internal suspension? It's somewhat similar to the cross method. It's just that in general, after early stage, if you're doing the burnishing, in earlier vehicles, there wasn't any suspension. Anyway, we just assume it will use that internal suspension method. No. Why does the internal suspension method exist? Because this method is the most labor-saving. Do you understand what I mean? Now everyone look at all those lift-offs. You can turn with one hand. Do you need to use internal suspension to operate? Cars can't use internal suspension. Only large vehicles will use internal suspension. Do you know why? Look at the steering wheel model. Your size is flat. Do you understand what I mean? Large vehicles. They have flat, slender steering wheels because the speed can't be fast. Therefore, for them, it's labor-saving. The volume is large, but the speed can't be fast, understand? School buses, so it depends on the type you use. If you drive with an internal suspension, you might not drive well. The value point isn't enough. Why? Everyone, pay attention to the cars here. Now modern cars are all safe. Frustrating. In case of an accident, if your hands are over here, may I ask? It wouldn't break originally. Your hand won't even get damaged. Is it up or down? So currently sedan methods do not need internal suspension. It's enough with the cross and transport methods already. Got it? So I advise everyone, don't use internal suspension to drive, unless it's a large vehicle. So when can you use internal suspension? For example, when you move the steering wheel while stationary, you can slightly use internal suspension. It's possible. Don't use internal suspension for operation. The last type is habitual. And then the Tang Yuan comes out. Sister Jingxiang will be here soon. Tang Yuan is out. Looks quite impressive. Lifting very lightly because the car lifts very lightly, so it hardly turns. You put this on with one hand. Make sure where it is, don't lose control. If you lose control, you can't pull it back at all. Do you understand what I mean? Do you think one hand is faster? Or is two hands faster? This way, when you turn the steering wheel, you can adjust it well. But when your speed goes up, when you're coming, you see you with one hand. If you suddenly dodge, you won't be able to pull it back. Got it? Of controlling your steering wheel with one hand. So generally, when we drive, can we place our hands in this position as our speed changes? My hand position will change accordingly. For example, these three methods, all understood. Good. When we drive normally, it's just this position. So today, if I say, I'm driving really slowly, it's going to be very slow. What's the condition of the car? Traffic jam. Then you see, you'll see further. Your vision is better. You see today, a lady drives with her head like this. Can she see in front? Can he see what's ahead? He must have stretched his neck very high. And you can't see it, do you know what I mean? So generally, when we go slow, it must be due to poor road conditions. There will be traffic jams. So the body leans forward. The range you see has a limited perspective, understand? So the position he asked about is at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. Understand? It's when going slow and the road conditions are poor. Normally on regular roads, that position is 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock. For instance, when on the highway, at high speed, I find you don't need to make many adjustments. When you place it in this position, after a while your hand shouldn't feel sore. Otherwise, just keep switching it around. Yes, just like this, hanging it here. And then make a little jump. There's everything. Like large vehicles driving on the side. Driving is like a meal, no need to serve. Still need to serve, pretend to serve. you will see it all. So when the highway is more monotonous, it actually makes one easy to tire. Why? Because there's not much going on. Plus, driving at night, you might feel it's quite an effort, boring, and before you know it, you'll want to sleep. Generally, it's placed at this position. He only needs to make slight adjustments. He doesn't need too much movement. So low, medium, high. My position is actually for your reference. Okay, good. Up. Pick it up. Okay, good. This is an instructor from the driving center in Hsinchu. He's pretty good. He speaks quite well. It also tells us about the steering wheel position. When going slowly, you can hold it at 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. For normal driving, it's placed at 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock. On the highway, since the speed is fast, the fast speed means less adjustment angle, so you can place it at 8 o'clock and 4 o'clock. Next, let's talk about when reversing, if we let the rear wheels turn along this line. Here, I need to tell you something. After this lesson, don't go asking the instructor. The theory is different from your teaching methods, so who should you listen to? I'll tell you, you must listen to your family's reasoning. Because when you take the test, it's in the designated area. I have no pressure here. We can redo it if we get it wrong. So my method applies your family's methods here? Just a practical application, so basically, you must follow your family's teaching. Remember this clearly. Let's take a look. When reversing, how to let the rear wheels turn along the line. We sit in the driver's seat. Through the rearview mirror, we can't see the rear wheels. We need to adjust our mirror slightly down to see the ground. So through the rearview mirror, we draw a straight line down. On the ground, this position is the position of the rear wheels. It's right in front of the door handle. This position is where the rear wheels are. We need to first grasp where the rear wheel position is. The red dot is in this area. Let's look at this diagram. First, we check the rearview mirror. The yellow triangle point indicates the turning point. The rear wheel hasn't reached the turning point yet. At this moment, you can't turn. When you turn the steering wheel now, the vehicle body will lean in and won't go in. In the diagram below, the rear wheel has reached the final score. Only then do you start turning the steering wheel. Does that mean it will definitely go in? Not necessarily. Why? Because the speed of changing direction and the speed of the vehicle backing up will affect its angle. So you need to make adjustments to correct it. Let's first check the rearview mirror. Heskins' point C is already at the switching point. But if we look from the outside, here at point A meter, at the turning point, still a big step. Why is that? Because the rearview mirror is deceptive. From the rearview mirror, it looks like it's already reached, but in reality it hasn't. This means we need to turn early. Next, let's take a look. The rear wheel has already reached point B. This position is at the switching point. At this moment, the front wheels will turn. How many turns does it take? Turn all the way. The time it takes for the rear wheel to move from A to B, the steering wheel is turning. The vehicle body is also slowly backing up. Next, just be mindful of our vehicles. Keep the vehicle from touching the white line. At this moment, let's ensure our vehicle doesn't touch this white line. If it's too narrow, just adjust it a bit. What if it's too wide? If it's too wide, move forward. But when you move forward, the direction needs to counter. Just now we turned right, so when moving forward, the steering wheel should turn left a bit. After turning left, back it in again. This way, it'll be easier to reverse. Next, this action is what you need to learn before parallel parking. Slowly straighten the steering wheel. Once straightened, it'll be perfectly parallel. You should practice this at home. You need to master this motion. Because later on, when you're at the Denmark plant, or at a highway rest area, service zones, as long as there's reversing into a parking spot, you need to make it parallel first. Slowly straighten the steering wheel. Once straightened, it'll be perfectly parallel. Join a training class and practice it well. Later, you'll get used to driving outside. This is very important. It's a reminder for everyone. Next, we need to enter the lane. As for when to turn, it's just like your coach taught you. Turn right and pay attention to the right side. Turn left and pay attention to the left side. Next, let's take a look at this video. First, let's check the position of the rearview mirror. It's approximately here. Do you see it? There's a camera over here. Okay, starting to turn. Is it turning? Okay, at this point, turn. Done. The steering wheel is fully turned. Watch the car body. Don't touch the white line. Okay, now you need to go parallel. All right, get ready to straighten it. Oh, start straightening. After straightening, it'll be parallel. This straightening motion should also match your speed. It should also match your angle. All right, park it well. After 2 adjustments, you can move forward. Now everyone, when driving outside later, there might be friends standing in front or behind your car, guiding you. At that time, it's very dangerous. Never stand in front of or behind a vehicle. Next, let's look at the relationship between turning and speed. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning there was a serious traffic accident. The truck didn't slow down in time after making a turn. It flipped over due to excessive speed in the turn. Lacking centripetal force and having too much centrifugal force caused it to overturn. From the cause of the accident, we found that whether it's a small vehicle or a large vehicle, in handling turns, before entering a bend, the speed should be adequately reduced. This is to minimize centrifugal force to successfully navigate the turn. As we talked about in section 33, the force on a car turning was explained. Centrifugal force is proportional to the square of the speed. That is to say, the faster you go, the greater the centrifugal force. Moreover, it increases exponentially. Think of a washing machine we commonly use in our daily lives. Its spin-drive function utilizes the principle of centrifugal force. The faster the machine operates, the faster the spin speed, the more thoroughly the moisture of the remnants is thrown out. This principle can also be applied to car turns. If the speed is higher, the greater the centrifugal force generated, the risk of the car being thrown off the track, causing a rollover or drifting, becomes higher. Chasing speed for a moment could bring sorrow for a lifetime. When driving, controlling the speed is absolutely a crucial part of safe driving. Next, let's assume the car is turning on a dry road at a safe speed of 15 to 40 km. A minimum turning radius of 50 meters is required. But once the speed exceeds 40 km/h, the required turning radius increases significantly. Therefore, driving too fast can lead to insufficient centripetal force, excessive centrifugal force, which may cause deviation from the original driving path, resulting in accidents. If turning on a wet road or one with gravel, where the road friction coefficient is low, you should reduce your speed further. A fully loaded train requires greater centripetal force when turning. Thus, when loaded with goods, the turning speed must be slower. We know that the weight of the vehicle, combined with the heaviest point on the vehicle, is the center of gravity. Plus, the heaviest load in the car, that is the center of gravity. We mentioned earlier, when a car's center of gravity is too high, its stability decreases, making it prone to tipping over. A common dangerous situation is when the cargo on the vehicle is not secured and during a turn, the cargo slides outward due to the effects of inertia, making it harder for the driver to control. The vehicle becomes more prone to skidding or tipping over. This also highlights that larger vehicles need to be more cautious about speed in driving. Therefore, when there is a bend ahead, you should first ease off the throttle, allowing the speed to gradually decrease. Then, based on the current speed, appropriately press the brake pedal to control the speed. At the same time, turn the steering wheel to maneuver the car's trajectory, successfully completing the turn. It's especially important to note not to press the brakes hard only after entering the turn, because in a turn, the trajectory of the wheels can easily change. If you press the brakes too hard, the path of the vehicle can easily shift, which can lead to accidents. This video discusses the relationship between turning and speed. The faster the speed, the more centrifugal force the vehicle generates. If the center of gravity is higher, it is more likely to tip over. There is a segment with a blank screen in the middle. The instructor included this car accident footage. The reason for this accident is just that a truck with soil in the cargo was going too fast and tipped over, covering the little white car next to it. As a result, this driver inexplicably died. When turning, besides watching speed, you also need to be mindful of the dynamics of the vehicle. Next, let's take a look. This video teaches what situations to encounter when driving in mainland China. We start by looking around. That's right, look around. What should we respond to? Our actions. Coming up to this intersection ahead, the trainee sees a trailer. Aiming for the central double yellow lines. What actions does he take? All right, you can see it. He pulls the steering wheel to the right to avoid, since he's sitting beside. He immediately reaches over to block his steering wheel. Absolutely shouldn't pull it like that. Why? You can't even tell if there's a car behind you. Just saw the front car crossing the double lines and pulled to the right. What if there's a car? What if there's a motorcycle? What then? Let's move a little. Pay attention now. You see, there's still a car. What line is this? Fast and slow lanes dividing line. In the middle, these two yellow lines are for two-way restricted overtaking. Can cars overtake from the right? Of course not, because that's the slow lane. They're overtaking from the slow lane. If our steering goes like this, we would get hit by them. The consequences of a crash are unknown. The gravel truck on the opposite side just crossed the yellow line and hasn't rushed over. As far as we can see, it hasn't yet, right? So, would you ask a family member how to handle this kind of situation in the future? Didn't we tell you above? When you see danger, the first action is to ease off the throttle. Always ease the throttle first. You need to slow down. If you want to evade, you need to check if there are no cars behind you. It's not enough just to pull over. If you pull over behind and don't evade, you'll have a problem. What if it's a motorcycle? The motorcycle would be in serious trouble. So in future situations like this, besides easing off the throttle, what should we do next? Flash your high beams, to alert the other vehicles. You have already crossed the line. Flashing the high beams is crucial. So this is the situation we encounter while driving in mainland China. Thus, the driving instruction industry carries quite a high risk. This carries a pretty high risk. Thankfully, no, there hasn't been an accident. The examination items include roadside parking, reversing into the garage, the dashed line coming and going, that is, the S-shape and uphill start, smooth gear shifting. These items will all be taught to you. I won't repeat it here. But if you encounter any issues during your practice, you can come in to watch the video. After watching the video, you can return to the training class to make some self-adjustments. If you still can't adjust, then you can ask the instructor. Because you should primarily follow your family's teaching methods. I am just here to provide an understanding of the overall movement. Let's take a look at the practical application of reversing into a garage. The first thing to do is to check the right rearview mirror. Our vehicle should be about a big step away from the car beside us. It can't be too narrow. If it's too narrow, you won't be able to get in. Once it's not, our vehicle needs to stop parking space to avoid blue cars. Let's check the right rearview mirror. Our rear wheel is approximately here, in front of the door handle, this position. When our rear wheel is almost in line with the red car, we start to turn the steering wheel. Let's have a look. Then we begin to turn. After that, the first rule is to not let the vehicle touch the red car. If you notice it getting narrower, make a slight adjustment and then pull it back. All right, let's pause here. This distance needs to be clear. What if it's too wide over here? If it's too wide, then it will be too narrow on the left side. If that's the case, we move forward. When you move forward, turn the steering wheel back to the left, because we just turned right. To adjust the angle, you must turn left and then back up again. That's the only way to make the turn. If it's too narrow, there won't be this problem. If it's too narrow, just make a slight adjustment. Pull it in and it's good. Next, let's continue to observe. Look at both sides. At this moment, you need to look for both sides to be parallel. Both sides need to be checked for parallelism. All right, if it's parallel, straighten it up. Before aligning, straighten the red line in your view. Once aligned, you can come in. Did you see that? If both sides have different widths, move forward and adjust again. All right, now turn to the left. Watch the left side of the vehicle. Make sure not to hit anyone's car. That's okay. This is where there are no lines on the ground. You can also tell from the rearview mirror. If properly aligned, then straighten it out. Here's another angle. This was filmed by the instructor using 360 degrees. It's the same. We'll check the rearview mirror. In the right rearview mirror, we can slowly back in, as long as our vehicle doesn't hit another car. After turning in, there's no problem here. Right? There won't be any contact on the right side. Don't A to slightly adjust. The rear wheel is at this position. The rear wheel. No contact, check the left side. You need to check for parallel alignment. At this moment, we need to pay attention. The lines need to be parallel, so straighten them out. Look at the line around. In the first half, there are no lines above you. Now that there's a line here for you to see, you should primarily stick to that line. All right, it's all understood now. If you were too far left before, just move forward and start over. Same goes for when you're turning to the right. Be careful not to hit anyone's car. Next, let's look at the application of roadside parking. The width for roadside parking doesn't need to be too wide. Earlier, we needed more space to back into the garage. Roadside parking doesn't need to be as wide. About a small step is enough. Similarly, we need to find our rear wheel position, which is approximately in this area. Now, let's look at these 4 images. Our rear wheel is here. Now let's look at the second image. The rear wheel is almost touching the neighboring car's tire. At this point, we need to turn the steering wheel. After turning, we back in. As we back in, we need to pay attention to the distance here. Did you notice? The second image is different from the third one. Don't A into someone else's car. Have you noticed? The second image is different from the third one. The third picture no longer shows the red car behind. At this moment, we need to check the left rearview mirror. In the left rearview mirror, we need to see the right headlight of the red car behind. Just as we are about to see its right headlight, we need to straighten up. Alright, next, let's look downward. Next, should we check the rear wheel? When we train at the coaches area, the rear wheel is almost ready to say turn left completely. Now, has anyone thought of a question? When you're driving outside, parking by the roadside. If there's no line for roadside parking, where do you look? Right, where do you look? Don't worry too much, we'll look at our front. Our right front corner. Passed by its rear. Then we'll turn. It's actually the same. In the future, when parking by the roadside, we need to pay attention to the front. The right front corner passes the rear of the car ahead. Then we'll turn. This is the angle. At this angle, let's take a look. Our right front corner passes through its parking space. Then we'll turn, because at that moment, are we afraid of hitting the car in front? So we check the right front corner. What if we do hit something? If we do hit something, we'll straighten back. Then turn again and it won't hit anymore. After backing in, we need to keep the front and back. The distance must be evenly wide. It can't be too far back nor too far front. If it's too front, the car in front can't get out. If it's too back, the car behind can't get out. Back in the 70s of the Republic of China, Taiwan had a car exhibition. That exhibition had many interesting displays. A car could park by the roadside. It moved in like a crab. Oh wow, everyone seemed to enjoy watching it. I went to see it at Taipei's Simaojana to see what the fuss was about. After watching, I found out it used a hydraulic system. It had 4 hydraulic cylinders. The 4 tires were lifted up by those hydraulic cylinders. I thought it was rolling in with more tires added. So I asked them one thing. I asked them, how many kilograms is your system? That system weighs nearly 50 kilograms. So it means for roadside parking, there is a 50-kilogram machine. There, hydraulic operated will likely leak oil. So everyone, now you won't see that anymore? Next, when coming out from roadside parking, you must first back up. Then turn on your signal light. The vehicle slowly moves forward. Don't hit the rear of the car in front. Let's take a look at the video. This video is for instructional purposes, as we mentioned earlier. Now let's enlarge the view a bit. Alright, the first thing. We need to pay attention to the right rearview mirror, because we need to turn right. Likewise. No matter when you turn, you need to initiate the turn early. It doesn't matter, just avoid hitting the cars next to you. You're about to cover the car behind. Ready? Check the left rearview mirror. As you're nearing the right headlight, be prepared to straighten up. This is straightening up, as you can see. After straightening, don't look at the lines on the ground. Look at our front end, our right front corner. Pass through its rear, then we'll turn. You can't turn too early. If you do, the car will be outside. All right, turn in. Our front passes. Their parking space, then we'll turn. Oops, did we hit their car? Because we look here. We also need to be careful. Is it going to A into someone else's car? If you turn too early, it will. Well, now we parked in. Did you see? The vehicle must park within the space. This is something to pay special attention to. Now let's look at another angle. Is this angle also blocking the rearview mirror? Ready to straighten up now. Oh, okay, straighten up. Next, don't worry about the line on the ground. Look at our front. Our front passes through their parking space. Our front end passes through his parking space. We turn right. Come on, we have a problem here. Okay, we need to turn here, right? What if we turn and are about to hit the car in front? What to do? Just don't turn if we're about to hit. Just go back, right, push a bit back. Need to turn again. Because sometimes you encounter this kind of situation. If you're not sure, you need to adjust a bit. Okay, at this time, pay attention to not hitting other cars behind. This way you can smoothly fit in. This is another angle. Same, see? Okay, is it straightened out now? Good, then left turn really. The front bumper touches, go through quickly. The rear of the car turns in. Good. Next, we need to adjust the front and rear position. We need to adjust it, so how to adjust? Look down, look down. This is the only way. When you get on the road, remember to back up then. Signal, then bring it out, turn it out. This is the whole action of parking by the roadside. Watch it several times and you'll learn. Just like singing. Let's sing another song. Let's listen to it a few more times. Listen a few more times, practice a few more times, and you'll be able to sing it.